Hello, this is Cenzontle Language Justice Cooperative. We are based in Asheville, North Carolina, and we would love to tell you more about our work and how we can work together. So, our goal is to transform barriers into opportunities. The way we do this is through offering interpretation, translation, and capacity building services that create multilingual spaces, especially for those who speak Spanish and English. So we are dedicating to ensuring that the voices of the people are not just heard, but are the driving force behind the change in our world. Cenzontle is a worker-owned cooperative in Western North Carolina of majority women, Latinx, and first-generation immigrants who grew up interpreting for our families and communities. Worker co-ops are values-driven businesses that put worker and community benefit at the core of our purpose. We are based on cooperative values of self-help, self-responsibility, democracy, equality, equity, and solidarity. What does Cenzontle mean, you may ask? Cenzontle comes from the language Nahuatl, a language of Central Mexico, and it translates to mockingbird or bird of 400 voices, which we find very perfect for our language co-op. As I was saying earlier, we're part of an ecosystem in Asheville, North Carolina, specifically in the Emma community, and we're part of a cooperative ecosystem called Elegido, where there's other co-ops and nonprofit organizations that fight for the rights of immigrants in our community and for our right to stay within our communities without being displaced. One of our main areas of work is interpretation, which is the spoken transfer of one language to another. Here you can see some images of some of the places and spaces in which we provide interpretation, where many of the workers are predominantly Spanish speakers and are owners of their own company. We also interpret at big graduations or one-on-one conversations. It doesn't matter where you need us, we will be there so that we can provide language access and understanding between two or thousands of people. We also get to interpret for staff meetings, one-on-one meetings, open community events, all throughout Western North Carolina and beyond. We get to interpret for the city or for the county. And we love to be able to provide those access opportunities in between the people and the way for their voices to be heard by public officials. We even get to interpret in health settings and different trainings that can bring language access to practitioners. Here we also have one of the people who participated in our mentorship, but I'll talk about that a little bit later. We get to participate with the youth in our community, encouraging them to think about what language means to them and the power of being bilingual. We also get to do really exciting fun events. Like, for example, we got to interpret at our local community theater where we provided live interpretation of a play, and we also translated the entire script. We get to be in public hearings and immigration meetings where people are able to be heard and participate in public discussions in their community. We also love to go outside and go with you wherever you need to provide this language services. In your big meetings, smaller meetings, we'll be there. Now, onto our translation work. Translation is the written passage of one language to another. Most of our team is certified by ICETI, the Institute of Translation Education in Mexico, and we have gotten specialized in legal or medical translation as well. We not only translate documents, but we also offer subtitles, voiceovers, and transcriptions of any videos or recordings you want to share with a broader audience. A fun thing we got to do after the hurricane that affected our community last year, we translated a children's book that would explain what had happened in our community so more children could have access to it and their families could have a resource on how to explain the traumatic event. Our third side of work is our capacity or consulting work, where we get to meet with different organizations or groups who are wanting to learn more about what language justice means and is. So for us, language justice is a way for us to fight for a world where everyone can express themselves, be heard, and participate fully in their community. Language justice is the commitment to creating inclusive, multilingual spaces where each of us can bring our whole selves into the room. It is a practice of actively building a world where English is not the dominant language in our spaces and where language is not a barrier to communication and community building. We approach language justice work as a restorative practice because we believe that language is a tool for building and reclaiming power. So when we create these trainings, we begin having this necessary conversation about healing the wounds of language injustice and addressing the history of language loss and language injustice as a result of colonialism, assimilation, and the enslavement of many people in our country. We believe that language is a tool for building and reclaiming the power that was taken from us through this language loss. So at the end, we will show a video that shares a little bit more about what our capacity work looks like. But here is some images of groups that we have gathered, we have brought together to learn more, to understand from the individual perspective, what does language mean to us and how does that impact our community and those around us. We also love working with the youth and we love to get them practicing or trying interpreting even for the first time, although many of them have grown up interpreting for their families in different settings. This is another example of another one of our trainings where we talk about not only language justice, but how to create these multilingual spaces that are intentional and effective in bringing people together. Soon we're going to have our new reiteration of our community interpreter training, which we are offering for free for members in our community through a popular education lens, where again we focus on personal experiences and then we go over tools and practice on how to become a community interpreter. Because this work is really needed in our communities now more than ever, and we want to be able to have people who are trained and feel confident in providing this service. Another part of the work that we do is creating blogs or sharing different information through our social media channels on why this work is important, maybe even understanding the difference between translation and interpretation, or why do we work in the way that we do. In this case, we wrote a blog about why and how does bilingual outreach matter? How can you not only hire interpretation, but also create a space and create consistency that makes people feel welcome and want to come to your events and spaces? So that's all I have to share for now about Cenzontle Language Justice Co-op. We would love to work with you, providing interpretation in your events. If you want to create bilingual spaces within your staff meetings or internal meetings, we would also love to translate your website or your social media posts or any documents that you would like to have in more than one language. Let us know if you would like to contact us. You can visit our website at cenzontle.coop or visit our social media channels on Cenzontle LJC. Thank you so much.
Hi there, this is Monse from Cenzontle. Did you know that besides interpretation and translation, we also do consulting and training? Let's hear a little bit about our two most requested trainings.
Our Introduction to Language Justice training empowers organizations to understand the importance of language and how it is an essential part of their organization's work. Participants will learn key concepts and understand the difference between language access and language justice.
To take it even further, our Creating Multilingual Space training is where we're grounding ourselves in the history of our movements, and we're providing tools and resources to help you create these accessible, inclusive environments for your meetings and events.
Now more than ever, language justice is essential in all of our spaces. Through engaging activities, we explore how language shapes our experiences and how to transform those insights into practices that make space for everyone to participate in the language that they feel most powerful in.
Schedule a free 30-minute intake call through the link in our bio, and we can talk more about your organization's needs. Thank you for being committed to language justice.